Alright folks, Randy here with RTS Mobile Game, and we are playing Diablo 4, and we're talking about my fantastic Necromancer here today, folks. This is an absolutely dynamite build for PvE and PvP, and you know what's best about this build. It does not rely on the lucky hit exploit that every other Necromancer is abusing from Bone Prison. If you like playing the game because you enjoy the gameplay, not because you want to click Bone Prison and then AFK while you clear Uber Lilith, this is the build for you. The damage is fantastic. Okay, I've seen hits up to 350, 400k ticks from my Corpse Explosion build, and I have fantastic tankiness, amazing flow, and the more mobs, the better. The higher the density, the higher survivability I have, the higher damage output, and it really makes for an enormously enjoyable playstyle. Comparing this Necromancer to my Druid, I actually enjoy playing this Necromancer just a little bit more. Okay, not only that, because this build has great survivability and great damage output, great crowd control, which is really the main feature of this build, an insane amount of crowd control, you are going to do very, very well in PvP. I have been killing level 80, 90 players in PvP over the past couple days. I'm only level 72. I'm a little bit under-leveled because my computer broke for 4 days before I had to go buy a new Alienware, but I'm here now killing people with this build. Alright, so let's talk about it. First off, you can run this build without any uniques. I just want to put that out there, okay? You can run this build without any uniques. I am using 2 uniques, which make the build a little bit stronger, which I'll talk about right now, but you can run this build with no uniques if you just want to play it and you don't have everything you need for it. It's fine, okay? I only recently got all of the pieces for the build that I want, and I'm still missing 2 pieces. But I have a lot of the pieces that I want, a lot of the aspects that I want. It's finally starting to click and flow with great synergy. So, the uniques that I am using are going to be the gloves called Howl from Below. These gloves give plus lucky hit chance. They give bonus crowd control on lucky hit, which is absolutely amazing, okay? I really, really like this crowd control because this whole build is built around crowd control. It's really insane, and I'll talk about why in 1 second, okay? So the Howl from Below is going to pair extremely nicely with your Wrathful Gem here that is going to give you bonus damage over time based on how many crowd control effects are on the target. Okay, with this particular roll in the ring, it's 42% bonus damage over time based on each crowd control effect, and it can roll as high as 48 at this particular item level. Okay, so essentially, if I have slow on the target, and I have stun on the target, and I have fear on the target, that is 3 types of crowd control. I will be dealing 126% bonus damage over time to that target. In addition, this Wrathful Heart is going to give bonus damage to bosses when they're staggered and unstoppable monsters, okay? Which is really going to help me do a ton of bonus damage. It's really, really nice. Alright, so that pairs beautifully with the gloves and some of the other aspects on this build, which I'll talk about in 1 second. The next unique I'm using on this build is... Oh, sorry, I didn't even finish talking about the unique ability. The unique ability on Howl from Below causes your corpses to chase after an enemy. It summons a skeleton, it chases after them, and then it blows up for bonus damage. This is a multiplier, so this damage is a multiplier bonus. It's amazing, alright? In addition, I'm using Black River, and again, this is something that actually doesn't work as intended. It's actually bugged, and it's not dealing anywhere near as much damage or dealing with a larger radius when you use your Corpse Explosion with the miasma bonus, right? Corpse Explosion over here with the miasma bonus. Your Blighted Corpse Explosion, it basically makes your Corpse Explosion deal more damage, but it's over 6 seconds, and it puts a black pool on the ground, right? You've all seen it. I'll show it in a video in 1 second. But essentially, the weapon is not working as intended. It is consuming additional corpses, but it is not dealing more than 128% damage, and the radius is not increasing. So it is giving you bonus 128 damage, which is why I'm using it. But like I said, you could take off this weapon and put on another ability or aspect that gives you good damage bonus. and it's probably going to be comparable until they fix this weapon. Once it's fixed, this will absolutely be the best weapon for this build, but right now it only gives you one bonus. It doesn't give you multiple stacking bonuses per each corpse that you consume, which is how it reads, right? But anyways, this gives bonus damage multiplier. Your gloves give bonus damage multiplier. Your Wrathful Heart gives bonus damage multiplier based on crowd control. So, what does that say? That says we want to generate a ton of crowd control with this build. Well, the great news, guys, is you can do that, all right? First things first, I have this on my amulet. I may move it to another piece of equipment soon, but essentially enemies afflicted by my Iron Maiden have a 32% chance to stun themselves for 1 second when they deal direct damage to me, okay? So that is a chance to trigger stun. It's really, really powerful, all right? In addition to that, I'm using Iron Maiden and Decrepify together to get a bonus shadow damage multiplier to my damage. So you're starting to see the synergy stack up, right? I have a ton of synergy here because I'm already spamming Iron Maiden to get crowd control. It's now generating bonus multiplier damage. It's really, really amazing overall. And it applies good bonuses anyways, right? It gives me some great healing, which is really fantastic. Helps you keep yourself topped off all the time. This build has a ton of survivability, okay? In addition to that, since this is a corpse explosion build, you are obviously consuming a ton of corpses. That is where the next the next vicious gem comes in, the vicious heart, which will cause corpses around you to automatically be consumed every second, dealing slightly reduced damage, okay? This is a great skill to have. It is going to trigger corpse explosion every single second. It will also trigger corpse tendrils on cooldown, so you'll be spamming this every couple seconds as well, applying vulnerable to the enemies and pulling them all into a group. All right? That corpse consumption is going to be generating blood orbs through the aspect on my helmet. Consuming a corpse has a chance to spawn blood orbs. This is going to help keep me topped off, but this is also going to trigger the aspect on my other ring. My other ring here is going to give me blood orbs. When I consume them, they reduce my ultimate cooldown by 1.5 seconds, okay? What is my ultimate? My ultimate is Bone Storm, which does half decent damage, but really why I care about it is because it gives me 15% damage reduction, and it gives me a stacking barrier because of the aspect on my chest. I'm really just walking you through how all the items link to the abilities here so you understand the build. Then we'll walk into the gameplay right now. I just wanted to really talk through it like this. Hopefully you found it beneficial. If not, give me the finger in the comments and I'll still love you forever. All right, so we have tons of corpses being consumed, tons of blood orbs being generated, tons of cooldown on my ultimate being reset. In addition, since I'm spawning Decrepify based on my Brutal Heart in my amulet here, Decrepify is going to automatically summon when I'm around one enemy. Okay, Decrepify is going to reduce enemy damage dealt. It's going to slow them. We are now adding additional crowd control to the build, right? Guaranteed slow on these folks. It's really, really awesome. Okay, that is basically how this build works. The other aspects that I'm currently running Shadow Blight. I am going to replace this with an aspect that gives me plus 120% damage bonus to Shadow when I get 10 ticks of Shadow Blight. All right, I'm going to replace this with that because this Shadow Blight itself, doesn't deal that much damage. I'd much rather have my Corpse Explosion dealing 120% bonus damage by itself. Okay, but this is half decent. It's a good filler until you get that, all right? I'm also using, what didn't I talk through yet? Oh, my chest. Oh, I did. I have Bone Storm, gives a barrier on my chest, right? On the helmet, I have Consuming Corpse, gives blood orbs. On the legs, I have basic attack skills, deal damage reduction. Something else which is really great about these legs, I was lucky enough to get, now you're going to look at these and you're going to go, Jesus Christ, Randy, there's no damage mitigation on these legs. You're right. This is not the ideal role for these legs. However, I was able to get legs that have Corpse Explosion and Blood Mist. Blood Mist cooldown is important because Blood Mist levels are important because they lower the cooldown of Blood Mist. It has taken almost 2.5 seconds off my Blood Mist by having these pants on. Levels of Corpse Explosion obviously won't make my Corpse Explosion deal a ton more damage, so you want those. But honestly, I wish I had Corpse Explosion intelligence, and then two defensive stats on these legs. It is what it is. All right. So the main stats I've been going for on my gear, you see a lot of plus damage to stunned, plus damage to shadow, plus damage to close. You're going to be close to everybody, so you can apply Decrepify, so you can get stacks of your Bone Storm. You're going to be close to everybody all the time. It's just how this build works. You're in close range. All right? In addition to that, this stunned, since I'm now stunning enemies, right, with Iron Maiden, I'm also stunning enemies with the ability here in my shadow section, right? I'm now stunning enemies for up to 3.78 seconds, 15% of the time when I deal darkness damage, which is going to be my auto attack with Reap and my Corpse Explosion darkness with my Asthma bonus, right? That's going to be generating a ton of stun. I'm going to be generating stun non-stop during this build. It also helps increase your survivability dramatically, okay? So this has also really helped me in PvP, by the way, since Blizzard did a good job nerfing classes like Druids that had unlimited amounts of Unstoppable. They've now made it where you only maybe have 5 to 10 seconds of Unstoppable. When the enemy's Unstoppable runs out, they are almost guaranteed to be snatched by my Corpse Tendrils, stunned in place, and basically take a ridiculous amount of bonus damage and get wiped out in 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, which is how the build works. Now, into the skills, I'll do real quick here, guys. I don't want to spend too much longer before I get to the PvP. You're going to get Reap. This is great for corpse generation. It's also a darkness skill that does shadow damage. So you're generating shadow procs, you're generating darkness procs for all your skills. Okay? Grab, Hued Flesh. This will help you generate corpses. Blood Mist is survivability. It also generates corpses. Okay, Corpse Explosion is your main damage dealer. You must go into the Blighted Corpse Explosion to make your damage be shadow. And it's a darkness skill. You must have this. It's mandatory for the build. Okay, Fueled by Death. This is super key. You want to get this. It's going to give you bonus damage after consuming a corpse. All right, let's see here. You are going to want to put 3 points in Amplify damage because you're going to be cursing enemies all the time. The way the build works is you apply 2 curses to the enemy, you get a massive damage multiplier against them. Okay? 1 point in Iron Maiden, go down to Abhorrent. 1 point in Decrepify, go down to Abhorrent again. Abhorrent Decrepify is going to give you an amazing chance to reset your skills by 1 second. 15% chance every time you deal damage to enemies afflicted by Decrepify. You are doing a ton of damage because you have a dot that ticks every second. You're auto-attacking with Reap. Your Blood Mist deals damage. Your Iron Maiden deals damage. You have several damage instances per second on multiple monsters. You're basically going to be resetting 2 or 3 seconds of cooldown every second. Okay? That's just how the build works. You're just spam resetting your cooldown when you're fighting 2 or 3 mobs at once. If you're fighting 20 mobs at once, you can reset your 17 seconds on your Blood Mist within, before Blood Mist is over, the cooldown's off. That's how fast it is. Okay? Next, you're going to max out these shadow damage skills here. Terror is really important for the build. Terror is the reason why I'm stacking so much damage, all right? Darkness skills. They're going to deal 12% bonus damage to enemies who are slowed and 12% bonus to enemies who are stunned or immobilized. The bonuses stack, okay? So I love slowing my enemies, which is going to always happen, and then I'm going to be stunning the shit out of them with all my stun skills. So you can guarantee that this is going to be stacked at a huge amount of damage, okay? Crippling Darkness gives stuns. Gloom does good damage. 1 point in here is all you need. 1 point all the way down to Plague's Corpse Tendrils. If you find like you're applying Vulnerable with something else, you could take this off and start generating a ton more Blood Orbs. Who knows? You could really have your cooldowns going cray-cray. Necrotic Carpus is going to keep your Fortify up. All right, down to the Ultimate Tree. You're going to max out Standalone, max out Memento Mori, get your Bone Storm Ultimate here, okay, and then you're going to get Shadow Blight, and that's the build. Paragon, I'm on level 72. I don't have a lot of Paragon points to show you, but I'll show you where I'm at. First off, okay, the first glyph I'm using is going to be the Crowd Control glyph, okay? This is really key. It's really amazing for this build because, again, I am stunning the crap out of everything, guys. Everything is slowed, and eventually everything gets stunned. So this glyph ends up being additive damage and a 20% damage multiplier to a lot of enemies. It's a really big deal. Then you go up here and you grab the Wither damage over time tree, okay? You're going to go ahead and put your glyph in the bottom right side here. Go grab that. I happen to put shadow damage. This is great for tankiness because every time I deal shadow damage to an enemy, they deal reduced damage for 5 seconds, up to 10%. So this is going to help you stay alive. It's really great. Okay, it's also great damage. We're going to go ahead and snake our way up the left-hand side here. Okay, you're going to go ahead and grab Wither. This is absolutely amazing. Wither is one of the strongest abilities in the game, hands down. And absolutely, because of this ability, you want to make sure you're stacking a lot of willpower on your gear. Okay, so don't neglect that. Then we're going to go up to the Flesh Eater node. This is going to give you more multiplier damage. And I'm going to work my way up to the glyph next. Okay, that's where I'm at Paragon-wise. Let's go kill some things. Here we go into Elite Pack, ladies and gents. This is going to be awesome. Get excited. Watch the magic happen. You're going to see all the damage coming out right now. Dropping my counter curse. Look at the damage ticks. Enemies down, folks. Level 43 Nightmare Dungeon. You are my daddy. Here comes the next Elite Pack, ladies and gents. Okay, you pop your Bone Storm, you crowd control everybody into a group, you smack them in the face, and you absolutely decimate their lives and eat their children. It is absolutely insane. Oh my goodness, did you see that damage? Level 43 Nightmare Dungeon, guys. These monsters are 15 levels above me. Well, I guess they're 14 now because I hit level 73. 14, 15 levels above me. The damage is insane. Like and sub, Randy out.